So welcome to everyone here. Welcome to anyone who's tuning in after the fact, if you're listening to the recording or watching the recording. I welcome people of all different experience levels with meditative practice and with mindfulness. So regardless of what your experience is before this moment, you're welcome. I also welcome people of all racial and ethnic backgrounds. This is for everybody. And I hope you feel welcome in this space, in this room. People of all different nationalities. I'm seeing people tune in from different parts of the world already. That's wonderful. So you're welcome as well. And sorry about the time change. Nothing I can do about that. But it's great that you're taking the time to tune in. I welcome people of all sexualities, sexual identities, and gender identities, whatever your preferred pronouns are. Again, you're welcome here. Likewise, if there's people with disabilities, physical disabilities, but also learning disabilities, psychological disabilities, I want you to feel welcome, and I encourage you to really make this work for you. And also important to recognize that we're doing a practice that has a spiritual and religious background. And so regardless of what your background is, with religion or spirituality, you're welcome to this practice. I also just want to acknowledge and welcome all the parts of you that might be showing up, whether you're feeling really peaceful to start, whether you're happy, content, or distraught, or grieving, or distressed, or angry, anxious, depressed, numb, brokenhearted, lonely, in love. All those parts of you are all welcome here. And if you identify in any meaningful way that I didn't mention, please forgive me, and all those parts of you are also welcome. One more acknowledgement is that I'm in Ashland right now. I'm in my office. And this is the ancestral land of the Takelma people and the Latgawa people, the Shasta people. And so I just want to acknowledge our ancestors that were the tenders and caretakers of this land before we were here. And I also want to acknowledge the land that was here long before the people. And so I'm in a building, I'm in an office building, and there's walls and there's a floor, and it's sitting on concrete, and there's concrete streets and sidewalks out here, and there's some trees and animals. But this is all in land and taking place on land. And there's still coyotes here, and bobcats, and lots of deer, squirrels, and trees, and these mountains, which are here and will be here for most likely a lot longer than we will. So I find it helpful to just put things in perspective and put what we're doing here in a bigger context. And speaking of ancestors, my ancestry is that genetically I'm 98 point something, a very high percent of my DNA comes from Eastern Europe, Ashkenazi Jewish. And I was raised in New Jersey. I'm going to synagogue 3 times a week. And so that's my religious background that I came from. And there's still aspects of that I appreciate and love. And these practices in mindful meditation that comes from a Buddhist tradition. And I haven't let go of my history, and I invite you to not let go of your history and what other practices and beliefs that you have that are meaningful to you. You don't have to let go of anything in order to do this practice. Most of my experience and practice in the past 10 years has come more specifically in the insight meditation tradition. And so this is part of a lineage of Theravada Buddhism, which comes from Southeast Asia, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand. So this is the history of this particular lineage of Buddhism. But there's similar practices in all different religious and spiritual traditions, and they all have their own benefits and their own flavor. And on a basic level, we all want the same thing, from these practices, and they all are designed to bring us to the same end at their heart. So I just want to acknowledge that. And we all essentially want to feel safe and to be respected and to have more peace in our lives, to be happy, more connection with ourselves, maybe, and more connection with others, and maybe even more connection to something greater than ourselves. So all these practices are designed to support us in this. Some very obviously and directly, and others kind of maybe more indirectly. So you don't have to be a Buddhist, is what I'm trying to say. And I usually don't identify as being a Buddhist, but I really, really relate to these practices that have a Buddhist origin. You don't have to believe anything other than the simple possibility that these practices might be of some benefit to you and the world. Also, it's important to say that nothing that I'm sharing is new. In fact, it's super old, um, 2,600 years old, approximately. And so I'm doing my best to deliver some of these teachings as accurately as possible, so that we can get the essential flavors and benefits of the ancient practices. And I do my best to quote some of my teachers and some of the great teachers, living and deceased teachers. And I do my best to quote even the Buddha, and his words that we find in the original Pali texts. Occasionally, I'm paraphrasing. I'll try to let you know when I am paraphrasing. And but ideally, I'm maintaining the flavor of these practices, and at the most, I'll throw on a couple of my own little rainbow sprinkles. The original teachings, they can be difficult out of context. Um, so they're not always so inclusive, and they're not always so trauma informed. So I find it very helpful to make the practices relevant to our modern lives, and to kind of use the translations that are more meaningful in our world. Um, Originally, the practices are designed both for monks, both for ascetics, but also for lay people, for householders. So there's room for all of us who I'm guessing we're all householders in some way. Maybe some of us are more monkish than others, but these are practices for us that are designed to make our lives better. What I'd like to say is that everything that I share is an offering. It's a suggestion, and you're free to take it or leave it. Um, so please make yourselves comfortable, and do whatever you need to do to make this time beneficial for you. On a basic level, that might include sitting. Often it's suggested that you sit up and you make your spine straight in a way that's both comfortable and alert. But that's not the only way to do this. You can stand. Sometimes if you're sleepy, it's more helpful to actually stand, and it can be a little bit more energizing for you. If you're having a lot of pain or it's uncomfortable to sit, you're invited to lie down. Lying down is totally okay. You could also do this to make it a walking meditation. Walking is another fully endorsed posture that the Buddha taught. If you're going to walk around, maybe turn your screen off so people don't get dizzy. But you're invited to just use the audio and move your body if you need to move your body. And additionally, uh, some people, I know this is true for myself, when I started doing Zoom meetings, I found it really uncomfortable to just be on the screen. I didn't like it. Uh, so you're invited all to turn off your screen if you don't like it. You can just have your little name or your photo and not be live if that makes you feel more comfortable. So there's a lot of value in some of the discipline and in the traditional practices, and I'll do my best to share them as we go. Um, but also, please remember that this is for you, and so make it work for you. I'd like to share with you my intention in doing this. Um, my intention is, for one, I want everyone to get something out of this. I want this to be mutually supportive for everyone here. On a basic level, I have a deep desire to have more community in my life around meditation, more Sangha. The word from Pali or Sanskrit is Sangha. So that's what I need. And so, partially this is, fulfilling a deep personal need of mine to have more Sangha. And also, Sangha is one of the important aspects of meditative practice. We all need that to support each other. So if you're an experienced practitioner, you have a lot of experience with different forms of meditation or even with mindfulness. Um, I hope that you can be here and enjoy the community, enjoy the Sangha, and um, and I hope you can receive something even from the most basic instructions. And personally, I began practicing meditation about 24 years ago, and I still get the most out of the most basic instructions. The mind can always use these gentle reminders of how to do this. We can always use more practice. And for those of us who are beginners, um, I hope that I can offer some foundational tools and maybe help get you started. And I know that some people have reached out to me saying, I used to meditate and I haven't been meditating. So if have some experience and you're restarting your formal practice, I hope that some of these reminders can be helpful and maybe help you avoid some of the mistakes that I made along my way in my practice. And maybe your practice can be a little bit less difficult. But if you're like me, you won't listen to what I have to say and you'll insist on making all of your own mistakes, and that's great. You'll do everything the hard way. And I respect that. So that's totally fine. Please do whatever you have to do for your own learning process, um, including disregarding everything that I'm saying. So we're all coming to this practice from our own perspective, and we bring with us our own personal history, our own experiences, all of our memories, and all of our traumas. So it's really essential that we have a lot of patience with that process and um, have a lot of compassion with ourselves as we practice and learn. And again, everything that we do here is just a gentle suggestion. There are no commands or instructions. So before we begin, I have a question. I shared a little bit about my intention about why I'm here. I invite you all to just take a moment and tune in to why are you here? What brings you to this moment, to this Zoom meeting, this Sangha together? Why are you here? What's your intention for being here? And the secondary question is why? Why is that important to you? So maybe my intention is to have more peace in my life. Well, why is peace important to me? How will my life be better if I feel more peace? And might seem like a silly question or an obvious question, but I invite you to just consider that before we begin. It can be very fueling for our practice to continually remember why we're doing this because it's kind of weird. We're going to just sit together in a moment. We're not going to talk. We're going to maybe close our eyes, maybe not. And sitting together in silence, if you kind of get outside of this experience, it's a little bizarre. It's kind of counterculture. So I think it's helpful to keep coming back to this intention of why we're here. One of my teachers, Jack Kornfield, he says meditation at its core is the training, the directing, or the focus of attention in a deliberate way. It is the human capacity to open to perspectives larger than the ordinary consciousness or the small, separate sense of self. That's our potential, the capacity to open to perspectives larger than the ordinary consciousness or the small, separate sense of self. Mindfulness is one style or one lineage of meditation practice. Of course, as we've mentioned, there's many. My favorite definition of mindfulness, and you may have heard this before if you are into mindfulness, this is from John Kabat-Zinn, but to me, it's really the most concise and clear. Mindfulness is awareness that arises through paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non judgmentally, and in the service of self understanding and wisdom. So, again, it's mindfulness is the awareness that arises through paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non judgmentally, in the service of self understanding and wisdom. At times I've seen that same quote, but in a different moment, he'll say mindfulness is awareness that is cultivated through paying attention. Um, and so sometimes it's cultivated and sometimes it arises naturally, and both are true. Both can be true. Um, and so when we practice in a formal way, we practice cultivating this quality of awareness. There's a story that you might remember or might know. There's a professor of biology, George Shaler, and he went to study gorillas in Africa, and he learned all this information about the intimacy of the relationships of the silverback elders and the young males and the juveniles and the mothers and the babies. And they asked him, how are you able to get all this information about the lives and activities of all these different dynamics happening with the gorillas? And he said, it's simple. I didn't carry a gun. I was able to sit among them and they did not fear me. So this is for me, it's a beautiful analogy of what we're doing in mindfulness meditation. Can I sit with loving attention and observe my present experience without judgment? Can I notice my feelings and my thoughts and let go of this impulse to react to them or to fight them? So if I can shift from this habitual reactivity to simply witnessing my inner experience, I have an opportunity for more clarity and wisdom. And I have an opportunity to have a lot more ease and equanimity in my life. I can begin to notice that my thoughts and feelings and physical sensations change. They come and go, are impermanent. And I don't have to respond and react to all of them because they're just going. So the question is, can I sit with myself? Can I sit amongst the uncomfortable and scary and maybe even dangerous parts of myself and not carry a gun? Just observe without judgment. Again, these words from Jack Kornfield. Mindfulness, a non-judgmental, caring attention, here and now. I'd like to just share a couple more quotes and then we'll practice. This is from Thich Nhat Hanh. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and alive, body and mind united. Mindfulness is the energy that helps us to know what is going on in the present moment. I drink water and I know that I'm drinking water. Drinking the water is what is happening. Mindfulness brings concentration. When we drink water mindfully, we concentrate on drinking. If we are concentrated, life is deep and we have more joy and stability. We can drive mindfully, we can cut carrots mindfully, we can shower mindfully. When we do things in this way, our concentration grows. And when concentration grows, we gain insights into our lives. Mindfulness is awareness that is cultivated through paying attention. Again, that word cultivated. Mindfulness is awareness that is cultivated through paying attention. And as Thich Nhat Hanh says, if we are concentrated, life is deep. We have more joy and stability. That sounds good to me. One more fun story. The great Indian guru, Swami Satchitananda, back in the 70s, he used to appear on posters. And I wasn't around yet, but I've seen these images because they're pretty famous. And he's standing on one foot and he's balanced in tree pose and he's a little loincloth and he's on a surfboard. It's pretty impressive. I'm a very, very beginner surfer. I'm just learning and it's hard to, I don't know. I imagine it's hard to do that. I can't even come close to balancing on one foot on the surfboard yet. But the caption says, you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. Meditate with Swami Satchitananda. So it's kind of silly, but I like that story. I like that image. So this is the essence of what we're doing. It's not to stop the human experience, but it's to realize that when we can witness our experience, we see that the waves are temporary. The waves will come and go. Everything changes. The body and the mind are ultimately ungovernable. The body changes and we all grow older. Our experiences and our minds and our hearts are endlessly and continuously changing. And when we begin to see this so obviously, we can begin to let go of that which is entangling us and that which causes us suffering and begin to live with more joy and equanimity. So this is a practice that it doesn't benefit only us, but it can benefit everyone around us and everything around us. And then we can share this with the world and with our environment. Okay, so we're learning to surf. If you're ready to surf, do this. All right. So we're going to do a little guided meditation. Um, we're going to sit for 15 or 20 minutes. So again, I invite yourselves to be comfortable. Establish a posture that's comfortable and in which you're both relaxed and also alert. You can snuggle on your couch. You can lie down. You can sit up straight on a meditation cushion, standing, walking, whatever works for you. There's an invitation to close your eyes. You may choose to close your eyes, but you don't have to. You can leave your eyes open. So if you choose to leave your eyes open, if that's more comfortable for you, I invite you to have a soft gaze on the floor in front of you or on the ceiling if you're lying down. And here's the first offering, the first suggestion. Relax, relax. Can you be here and relax and know that you're relaxing? What is that like to just allow yourself to relax? I remember being on a meditation retreat and one of the teachers said, relax. And it was 3 days of sitting all day. I said, relax. It's hard work. Be getting paid for this. At that point, I was essentially waiting for the bell to ring every session. But if it's possible, I invite you to relax and know that you're relaxing. If it's difficult to relax, then don't relax and know that you're not relaxing. What is that like to not feel relaxed? My favorite meditation instructions come from Joseph Goldstein. Actually, they come from his teacher, Munindraji. Sit and know that you're sitting. And I just sit and know that I'm sitting. What is it like to sit here? Munindraji says, sit and know that you're sitting, and the whole Dhamma will be revealed. The whole truth will be revealed. What is it like to be you right now? What is your experience like? You might notice some sensations in your body. What is it like to have a body that has feelings, sensations? Notice if there's anything that's tight or under tension, anything that's uncomfortable. And is it possible to just be with it? Just notice what that's like to be uncomfortable. The question is, can I be with this? There's some pain happening in my body. Can I be with this? And also, can I respect the answer that comes? Maybe the answer is no, it's too much. I can't be with it. And so, if that's the case, you don't have to. I don't have to. I can stretch or move my body in some way so that I'm not in so much pain. So, please take this invitation to make this work for you. Likewise, if there's any sensations that are pleasant, maybe there's some spaciousness, maybe there's some expansive feelings or relaxation, warmth or tingling. Can I be with that? Can I allow myself to feel pleasant and enjoy that? You're allowed to enjoy that when it's there. How is it for me to feel pleasant feelings? You may notice if you're still with us that the body breathes. What is your breath like? How is it to breathe and know that you're breathing? For this moment, we're not doing any breath work or pranayama or any kind of changing of the breath. We're just going to watch it. If my breath is shallow, can I just allow that? Can I allow my breath to be shallow and notice what it's like to have shallow breath? If my breathing is slow, what is that like to breathe slow and know that I'm breathing slow? I breathe deep and I know that I'm breathing deep. You might become aware of sounds in your environment, the sounds of my voice, sounds in your space at home or wherever you are. How is it to hear sound? What is that like? Hearing. Can I hear the sounds without judgment? Just let them in. Can I be with these sounds? And it's natural for thoughts to arise, natural for feelings to arise. So as I have a thought, can I become aware of that thinking? Can I know that I'm thinking or feeling? The emotions come, the emotions come, and I feel them, and I know that I'm feeling an emotion. What is that like? Can I be with that? And again, if there's anything that's too difficult or too strong, thoughts or feelings, emotions that are overpowering or overburdening for you right now, then you don't have to stay with it. Please take this invitation to heart, find the right dosage for you and whatever you're experiencing. And if anything feels like it's too much or too activating, too painful, one thing that can help is to open your eyes and look around the room. You can make a physical contact to your body that might be soothing. You can wiggle around, some way to help you yourself resource and feel more comfortable. So you're not so in a difficult experience. And anytime I get distracted, that's okay. It happens. That's what humans do. We all do it. And there's an opportunity to come back to this present moment. Come back to the awareness of my experience. I'm sitting and I know that I'm sitting. I breathe and I know that I'm breathing. Your eyes are closed. I invite you to open your eyes. If you're sitting still, I invite you to give yourself a little wiggle. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers if you like. Have a sip of tea. When you're ready, we're going to come back into this space, into the room. I have a really beautiful singing bowl that I intended to bring into my treatment room and ding it at the end of our session, and I forgot. So there's the end. Ding. So first, I want to actually open it up to any of you in this space. And how was that for you? Anyone feel open to sharing what your experience was like in this? Um, how do I actually do this? If anyone wants to talk, can you just unmute yourself? Can you try to do that? If you're having a hard time, let me know. Maybe I need to unmute you. Okay, there you
There.
go. Thanks.
Yeah. I found your voice and pace very pleasing, pleasant, comfortable, David. And um, I've come out of this just with a lot of quietness in my heart. So thank you for this experience.
Beautiful.
I
Thank you for
appreciate it.
sharing.
Welcome.
Anyone else wants to share, maybe raise your hand if you know how to do that. Oh, there you go. I see you. Joshua, you raised your actual hand, not your Zoom hand. Hang on a second.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go for it.
First of all, I want to thank you. That was really very, very special. I'm really happy to be here tonight. My cousin invited me, and she's, I guess she's a friend of yours, or you know her, Lauren Herskowitz. I think she's even on right now. So I just want to send out a hi to her because I'm so happy at the last minute. I'm on the East Coast, so I'm so happy. Last minute, I was actually able to attend because it's a little late here, but not too late. Um, yeah, I have a pretty sensitive wealth of experience, and I thought that you did an amazing job. It was wonderful to be present here and be mindful with you and to meditate. And I really needed it. It's been
Good.
a rough today, so appreciate you.
Thanks for being here, Joshua. Beautiful. Well, I think we all need it on some level, so it's wonderful to get to practice together. Any other comments? And then I'm going to open up to any questions if anyone has questions about the practice or about the experience.
Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, go
Okay.
for it.
I'll just say it's been a long time since I've slowed down and quieted down for even this 15 minutes. So it's nice, and I'm really eager to, to kind of go on this journey with you and the rest of you all. I'm really looking forward
Wonderful.
to it. Yeah.
Thanks, Sonia. Yeah. Thanks for being here. Oh, there you go. Tammy, raising your Zoom hand like a pro. Go for it, Tammy.
I'm freezing, I'm sorry. Just wanted to say it was really nice to meditate in a group. It's been quite some time. And
Yeah.
it felt really held. So thank you so much. I'm hoping I'll be able to be here with you. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you, Tammy. Thanks for joining us. What a treat. I'm continually impressed by the group soul that can be created even in a Zoom room. We're all, not in our each other's physical presence, and we can still generate a lot of support for each other. There's a loose intention to continue to do, these practices, group practice, really in Ashland for the local people, but also it's so great to do it in Zoom because here are people from all over the place getting to do this together, and it's very sweet. Anyone else want to share or have a question? There are no stupid questions, only stupid answers. So I'm the only one that's on the hook right now. You can ask away. And if not, that's fine. So also for all of you who are here, this is being recorded, and the intention is to actually post a link of this. I think I'm going to just send out the link next Wednesday when I send out the Zoom link. So that means if you're not able to show up live, you can, for the upcoming sessions, you can just tune into the video and or the audio. If that's what works better for you, you can still engage in that way, but if the timing doesn't work for you. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you all for being here. This is really sweet. Lovely to see all of your faces and see all of your names and to practice with you. I wish you all a wonderful evening. See you next time.